Paul Quaglia. I'm the founding and director of APAC Assistance and the owner of the company. We specialise in operational risk management. You can find us on our website, apacassistance.com. Today I'm going to do a wee little session, and it's going to be on a little comparison on managing COVID-19 between India and Australia. And I don't think today's session is going to go where you think it's going to go. Firstly, I want to talk about some of the statistics. Allow me to read a bit of this because my memory's a little bit rugby beat. 366,000 odd fresh infections has recorded a significant drop. Its cumulative caseload now at 22.6 million. 246 odd thousand people have died. India now has 3.75 million active cases. It should be noted, these are official figures. These ignore the fact that there's a lot of places in India haven't seen a hospital recently, ever. Statistics only can be done on testing, and of course control can only be done on contact tracing. Vaccine shots so far reached an impressive 169 million. Not too bad, though. We've got a population over in India of about 1.3 billion. The new wave, of course, the third wave in India, is hitting all the rural parts where they don't have media, the governance struggles, read non-existent. However, good news, by keeping it open, India has still got a GDP tracking at about 9.5%. Not a bad effort. Could be up around 14% without COVID, but still way ahead of anywhere in the West and the most of the rest of Asia. Since a peak of about 93,000 cases a day in mid-September, things have suddenly deteriorated. Let's skip forward a little bit. The central government's mismanagement and short-sightedness were the common factors during both COVID waves. In good company though, United Kingdom early on, it was not even living in denial, it was just living, not making decisions. It was breathing, doing what governments do well, especially democratic ones. Breathe, pick up their pay. Brazil, Mexico, and of course the very funny one, America pre-Biden. What was that guy's name again? Rhymes with slump. Trump. So, India's not out there alone. Of course it's not. The scary thing is, there's still a chunk of people in America still support Mr. Trump. What a brilliant man. Obviously can play the media. And what's the media there for? Good for society or itself. I forget now. There's one of them. The powers of human intellect, the powers of democracy, all summed up, rhymes with slump. Some public health experts in India, wait for it, have expressed concern about inadequate planning in India and coordination of COVID-19 responses, stating there was an inordinate reliance on lockdowns, but a low emphasis on testing and contact tracing. Well, there's a new thought, isn't there? And have these experts have suggested some mechanisms for better planning and coordination. Australia. Australia currently has 29,000 cases, all up cumulative that is, and about 910 deaths. Compared to India, very good. So brilliant, right? Wrong. Naturally isolated, compounded by shutting everything down. It did pretty well. Low cases. However, it still managed to show that governments can only govern as good as the people they have. And as a general rule, they don't attract the cream of the crop. Of course, they'd argue with that because they're all there for the good of the nation. So far in that they actually told the entire nation's citizens to come home. Come home because it's best for you. Don't worry if the CEO of a multinational company. Don't worry if you're running a major religious outfit in missionary nations abroad. Don't worry if you own your own company. Don't worry if you're an employee with contractual obligations. Quick piece of brilliant governance, come home now. Oh, by the way, when you come home, you won't be allowed to leave. We'll have the school mats ready. You'll have sleepies at 10 a.m. every morning, and we'll give you all an apple. Because, of course, Canberra Crony knows best. Well, Prime Minister Scott Morrison, ScoMo, one of the boys, goes to the footy, announced some 4 million people will be vaccinated by the end of March. The reality, about 700,000 people. We forgot the W for when. We forgot to tell people like doctors how many vaccines they'll have. Singaporean government would be embarrassed, if not laughing, to look at the abject inability of the Australian government to think beyond a day at a time. I'll tell you what ScoMo is good at. Like most politicians, and I'm not advocating Liberal versus Labor, they're all the same, all tarred with the same brush. But if you plan a day at a time, one-dimensionally at a time, and your greatest planning criteria and assumption and liability is the next press conference, and if you desire to be at a lectern for 20 minutes a day and you don't have a background in crisis management, perhaps you shouldn't be running crises. You should be where you belong. Locked in Parliament House, hidden behind walls, reading through policy, proposing bills, and arguing like children. You're very good at that. Politicians are good at that. Let them do that. ScoMo, though, may have outwitted himself. He may manage to, and to coin the wonderful phrase in Australia, lose the unlosable election. He wasn't doing too badly there. Nobody knew who he was. Everyone was focused on more important things in Australia. Things like skiing, surfing, rugby, football, soccer, their iPads, and terrible TV shows. Well, what he's done, though, is by getting locked into 20-minute lectern sessions, failing to engage properly with the states, being condescending in his communications with them, not establishing any leadership, talking without any substance, thinking engaging with states is to have the odd occasional chat, but normally an odd occasional spat. He failed to engage. He failed to lead. Leadership, a lost skill, perhaps. Well, he may learn a little bit about leadership as he has time to reflect post-election. Meanwhile, of course, the W they did get was the big W. Whoopsie, we forgot to think of what if AstraZeneca doesn't deliver. Oh, don't worry, we've got that covered, boys. We're going to make it here. W, when? Forgot that one again. Whoopsie. Don't worry, we can distract everybody. Let's pick a war on China. What's to lose there, huh? Lobster trade, lots of wine. Don't worry, iron ore will support us. Will it? For how long? Doesn't matter as long as the politicians get paid, as long as they have enough money in the coffers to offer everybody bribes. Oh, I mean social handouts. Oh, imagine that. Manipulating society by chucking money at a problem. But let's criticise other countries for their human rights approach. Well, just come bloody home. Don't worry about all the other stuff. We'll take care of you. You can trust us. We're in Canberra. We know everything. Know it all. Or are we know-alls? I forget now. Thank you. I'm Paul Quaglia, the Director of APAC Assistance.